My entire career has been at MIT, starting with the undergraduate work there, PhD, and then getting hired on staff and getting eventually to the highest level on the research staff, senior research scientist. And it's been a great career, but I spent most of it writing computer code. I was developing systems that would allow computers to interact with humans using natural language. So that's precursors to the AI, technology that today is sort of taking over the world. So we were early in that space of teaching computers how to provide information to humans using natural language. But along about 2007, I pivoted in a big way. I decided that I was worried about autism. I was seeing the rates of autism going up every year in the United States for quite a while, and it was being dismissed by the government as unimportant. They were able to say, well, we're just diagnosing it more, don't worry about it. But I didn't think so, because I remembered as a child, there was no autism whatsoever. So I knew something was going on. And I didn't think it could be genetic, even though most of the funds were in genetics, because genetics doesn't happen that fast. So there could be genetic predisposition. And the research was all about finding the genes. But I think, in fact, the big problem was, what is it in the environment that's poisoning our kids? And that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to find out. And I figured with my computer science background, I could look at statistical correlations and try to figure out, looking at different chemicals that they're exposed to, and try to figure out which one or which ones might be causing this epidemic. And I landed on glyphosate after 5 years. Very serendipitously, I happened to be at a conference where Professor Don Huber was talking about glyphosate. And I actually did not know the word when I walked into the room. After 2 hours of listening to him, I became convinced that I had found my answer. And I didn't look back. I just dove in at that point and read everything I could about glyphosate, started writing papers on it. And, almost 10 years later, I wrote the book, Toxic Legacy. So it's taken me a long time to get to the point where I had enough knowledge to be able to assemble the book. And the book really describes my, my story, and then, of course, my beliefs on exactly why I think glyphosate is much more toxic than we've been led to believe. And the industry is deceiving us and deceiving the government, which is a very serious problem. And it's pervasive in the food supply. So the kids are really very dangerously exposed to it every day.
Right. And it's also used a lot in India, glyphosate, so it's a huge problem.